This is a special report from About Space Today.
Welcome to Special Report, NASA's Boeing Crew Flight Test Update. I'm David Denault. After days of arduous work by NASA, ULA, and Boeing, a news conference on the crew flight test to the International Space Station was held. The teams are now working toward a launch opportunity at 12:25 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, June 1. Steve Stitch, the manager of the NASA's Commercial Crew Program, said they will also conduct a Delta Readiness Review.
We decided to have a Delta Flight Readiness Review, and that is primarily because some of the human rating certification details have changed from what everybody who signed the interim human certification document for CFT has changed. And so we're going to have a Delta Flight Readiness Review on May the 29th to review both the leak and the changes to the way we would execute a deorbit burn in a remote set of failures. Long term, Boeing is going to explore options as we work towards certification after the crewed flight test to recover this redundancy. They are evaluating potential software fixes or other changes that we could have to restore that capability. I have spoken to the crew several times. We've stayed in contact with them. They've been a part of our meetings. Their job, as they know, is be ready to fly. They've been in quarantine now for a little over a month. They're in good spirits. They've tied into our meetings. They advised us to get some rest, which we're going to do now that we've set up for the launch on June 1st with the Memorial Day weekend, having our team, who's worked very hard for 2.5 weeks, to have a little bit of downtime. Crew has also been in the simulator looking at various failure cases, some of them very extreme, should we lose various thrusters and various manifolds. And they have flown all those cases in terms of rendezvous and deorbit and entry, and they're ready to go. Butch, when we talked to him, he said, we're in the business of discovery. We've obviously had some discovery over the last few weeks. He knew going into the flight we would have some discovery, and we've had it prior to launch versus in flight. And Butch says that they're ready to go and when we're ready to go.
Stitch was also asked if there were any considerations to make flight changes.
Right now, we don't envision any change to the flight plan relative to any of the crew manual flying objectives that they plan to do, or any of the rendezvous. As Dana said, that we've looked at the rendezvous profile. We've looked at redundancy. We don't see any issues relative to this particular doghouse leak. And I want to clarify the change at the end of the flight. We nominally plan to do the deorbit burn just the way we have on OFT-1 and OFT-2. We plan to do an OMAC burn. We have redundancy, and we can handle an OMAC failure and still execute the deorbit burn. It would be in this pretty remote case where we lost the helium manifold totally in two different doghouses. And as Mark said, in the port doghouse, if the leak rate were to increase, we can feed that leak. We have the way to see what that leak rate is during real time, even on the way to station if that leak rate's increasing. We could always isolate that doghouse temporarily, preserve helium, and then reopen it for critical burns or critical parts of the approach to ISS. So we have lots of options to manage that. And then the nominal plan is to execute the mission as advertised, as we've planned for many years. And again, the deorbit burn will be with OMACs, just like we planned to. It would only be in this remote set of failures that we would have to go to the two burns with the 4 RCS jets.
The launch teams are continuing to work toward a launch opportunity on Saturday, June 1st. Enjoying About Space Today live, beginning at 12 noon with Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor, and me, David Denault, for the launch of Starliner.
This has been a special report from About Space Today.